I want to ask you a quick question. It's rhetorical because I have my personal experience. Are other African foreigners that are here, are they willing to work with black South Africans? Because my question was, what are they doing for black South Africans? Are they willing to work with black South Africans if we extend our hand?
Okay. Yes and no. And let me explain the no part first. I don't fault them in the no part because many of them come from countries where they've given up on their national pride. They've given up on fighting for each other. I'll use Zimbabwe as an example. And if you look at just Zimbabwean people in South Africa, most of them, you can tell that they don't have a love for their country. They don't have a love for their people. The richest Zimbabwean man is Masiyiwa.
Shout out to Strive. I think he's overtaken
no
for
shout
cheese.
outs. No shout outs. No shout outs. How can you be the richest man from your country? You don't even live in your country. That is a shame.
Okay.
The fact that your country is in such a condition where you cannot even live in it. Patrice lives in South Africa. He drives on our street. I bump into Patrice all the time in Bryanston. You know what I mean? And his bodyguards allow me to come up to him and wave.
But
at
he's got a
his
history
S-class.
with Zim.
No.
Strive.
I understand the history. That on its own, what does it say to the kid in Zimbabwe who wants to become the next Strive Masiyiwa? Because they're using EcoNet, EcoCash, they're phoning, they're buying the things, Magic. What does it say to that kid? It says that for me to be something in this world, I need to leave Zimbabwe and make something of myself. And that is the wrong attitude to have if you want to have a people that have got a pride in their nation and who want to actually uplift their nation. There's no love for one another, as there's no brotherly love for one another. You understand what I'm saying? When Elvis Nyati died and was killed in Deep Slot,
yeah.
It was organizations, the Kopanong Africa, whatever. Kopanong Africa, I don't even think it's a registered business. It's 4 people with a laptop or whoever. And because they're able to be put on the news and everything else, we think that it's a big organization. They couldn't even organize a march. I'm just saying, if you could take all the people from Zimbabwe that work in South Africa and they wanted to stand up and say, listen, not one of our own is not going to be killed like a dog here. We're going to march. We would have seen a march. But
you're saying Zimbabweans in South Africa are not united?
What I'm saying is that they saw one of their own brothers being killed and they didn't even bat an eyelid.
Sure.
They didn't even, and that, for me, means that they've lost their humanity as a people. It's been beaten out of them. They've lost all hope in humanity. The corruption in that country has made the people turn against each other, and it's every man for himself. There's no one who's going to stand up and say, I'm going to fight for my fellow citizens. There's no one who's going to... why is it not a Zimbabwean organization that's advocating for the people that were affected in Deep Slot? It's not. It's South African organizations, it's other people, it's Europeans, it's whatever. It's the guy from Swaziland, what's his name? That old man, that white man. You know what I mean? Who's always on SABC1?
No.
Who's always on SABC1, some old white man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Terry or whatever. You know what I mean? Those are the people who are speaking on their behalf. Where are their own people speaking on their behalf? You know what I mean? A guy like Hopewell Chinono, I respect him because he still has that humanity. He's still going back to his country. He's still farming. There's people that are out there in the world, right? Zimbabwe has got agricultural land, has got all these opportunities.
It's a wealthy nation.
And people are there. Its people have said, we are giving up on our country. We are fighting to get citizenship in other countries. That attitude is something that we don't want to see happening in South Africa. And it is coming because that lack of dignity is the start of it.